part of me wonders, if all those superstitions are actually serving us or not.
Oh, they're not worth it at all. They're just
No.
mentally damaging us, especially as goalies. Like I see some kids now that they get to the rink and goes in the exact same position. They got to touch it in the same spots, and it's like, buddy, calm down. This is a hockey game. This is a hockey game. I almost kind of want to walk in as a coach and just kick a stick and just like you're not touching it. Like just to
That's
make them understand that you're gonna stop a puck anyways.
What's going on, guys? It's Brandon from Advancement Hockey Advising here, and today we got a special interview here with Stefano Cantali coming back in the house with a round 2 interview. For those of you who didn't see the interview that we did just a few months ago with Stefano, you can find it by clicking up here. Honestly, it was a really popular interview. A lot of people loved having Stefano's input, how he shares his stories and tells his experiences and everything. So we decided to have him back for a round 2 and to share more, in-depth stories on struggles, challenges, big wins, big highs, big lows in hockey, and much more. So hopefully you guys enjoy this interview here. If you guys do like this kind of content, if you like these interviews, feel free to absolutely destroy that like button. It goes a really long way for the algorithm. If you do, we'll reward you with a picture of a baby panda at the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, and if you're new here, if you want to see more of these kind of videos, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video moving forward. All right, guys, that's it here for the intro. Let's dive right into the interview with Stefano.
All right, so after popular request, we got Stefano back for round 2 here. Stefano, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. It's nice to be back.
Yeah, for sure. You're back, but you're a different setup here. Where are you at right now, Steph?
I'm in the States. I'm in Minnesota with my wife. I got to be here for the holidays, of course, And then we got a nice little office here. So we got the masks, got jerseys. Just missing my Team Canada jersey back there, but that'll come with time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know which one I like better. I like the other one because you have the mic set up and everything, but this office is pretty cool too with all the accolades, the helmets and everything. So yeah, for the audience, if you want to comment down below and let us know which office setup that you like if you saw the first video. So why don't we just start kicking off the video here? Most people heard your background. They heard your story in the first video. Why don't we just start with a tougher question here is maybe talk about the hardest moment that you went through in hockey and how you pushed through it.
Hardest moment. I mean, obviously most people can say that it's probably when you get cut from a team and you're not sure what's going to happen next. But for me, I think it was when I broke my knee. And that happened really later in my career. I was 23 when I broke my knee. I broke it on a movement, a T-push. For goalies, you guys know what it is. You do it about 1,000 times a day. When I stopped, my leg bent sideways instead of forward, and I broke every part of my knee. And I think that was the hardest moment because I was coming towards the end of my career. It was my junior year of college. I was graduating. I wasn't sure if I was going to go back to do my master's degree or if I was going to try to play pro. And at that point, as you know, it's kind of the end. There's no more, there's another season, Now you're getting paid to play, and you only get to play if somebody wants you. And that was a hard moment just because first, for me to mentally be able to do that movement again, I was scared. I spent 6 weeks bedridden. I only started walking after 2.5 months, and that was with crutches. And then I only started walking without crutches after 6 months. It was a huge thing. I have 6 screws in my knee, a synthetic ligament, no cartilage. My meniscus is damaged. My ACL is damaged.
Jeez.
From something I do 1,000 times a day. So first, I was scared to get back on the ice. I was scared to do it again. And then there was also the fear of, okay, I broke my knee in the time where I had to make the jump to pro hockey. Is anybody going to take a chance on me? I'm a goalie. My knees are basically the most important part of my body. For me, that was probably the hardest moment for me to kind of mentally get through it. I know I dealt with a lot of self-pity, self-anxiety, and just struggling to get past that. And it took me talking to a couple of my buddies who were playing pro and went through similar situations, like Julien Gauthier, who plays for the Rangers. He broke his femur and had to kind of relearn how to walk, run, and skate. And I spoke with him quite a bit. Yeah, and I spoke with him quite a bit to kind of get through it, and he helped me. And I got really lucky that I ended up signing in a team with Belgium, where I hadn't even put on skates yet, and they said, yeah, you can come out to play. Obviously, I hid it from them, not my best idea, and that kind of helped me get through it. But it was really just having that nice little support group around me of guys that have gone through it and finding out a team was going to take a chance on me anyways. I love hockey, and I wasn't ready to retire till I was 30, so I knew I still had a couple of years left in me. That motivation of I'm at the door of everything I've ever dreamed of kind of just made me push through it.
100%. And I relate to you, man. I got a couple really bad injuries in my career too. And they're really tough because it's not just the physical pain. Like we've played hockey our whole lives. We can deal with the physical pain. It's the mental battle that you go through. It's like, will this ever go back to 100% again? Will I ever be able to perform the way I did? These questions always go through your head when you're battling with an injury. Am I letting my team down right now? I know like they don't sound like rational questions, but they do go through your mind if it's an injury that keeps you out for a long time.
Well, I was gonna say absolutely. And even when you come back and you've recovered, you still have that in the back of the mind saying, I used to be so much faster. I used to be more explosive. I used to dominate more. And you always kind of beat yourself up about it, even when you're doing better. And like for me, after I broke my knee, I kind of figured out the better way to play, staying calm, staying more relaxed. And I was doing better as a goalie overall because I understood. But it took me breaking my knee to be able to get to that point. I still question myself, like, I could be better with more speed, even though I was a worse goalie when I was faster.
How do you go about compensating like that, where you can actually become better after a big injury?
It compensated came from, as a goalie, it came from slowing the game down. I was always a very fast goalie and I could beat the pass by 2 or 3 seconds. So I'd get there and I had too much time on my hands and I'd like jitter how excited I was to get hit by it. And once I finally timed myself better and kind of went a little more smooth, kind of like, I am not going to say this, but like, if you look at Carey Price, he's so smooth in the net. I was nowhere near his level, but I felt that way playing, and it just made me that much more impactful in the game. I was making better saves, less rebounds, making smarter choices with the puck, moving the puck a lot more too. I ended up getting 4 assists in my last 6 games in Belgium before COVID ended the season. Like, it was really cool being able to do that.
That's pretty cool as a goalie to get 4 assists. And circling back to your comment, that was pretty funny. You're jittering like, please let the puck hit me. Only a goalie would say that. any skate person or player would not say that, but goalies have that weird side about them where they want to get hit by the puck. So, a bit touching on that. So, you seem to have like this deep-seated motivation inside you, Stefano, that you don't see in a lot of hockey players. Where do you think that comes from?
That comes from my dad. I grew up with a very, very caring father who put his family first. And I've seen my dad work a 15-hour day, and he knew at a hockey game a night. Guy was exhausted, just worked a crazy day. He would make sure to be at my game, cheering me on. Even if I had a bad game, at the end of the game, he was waiting for me with a big smile, a big hug, sometimes a little slush, because I love my little slush puppies after games. And he would go home and go right back to work. Like, I've seen him work 20, 40, even 60 hours and only sleeping maybe 5 or 6 hours within those days, just to make sure that my brother, myself, my mom, we had the life that we wanted, that we had everything we needed, that we were able to pursue our dreams. And I think just growing up with that example really, really helped me, because I saw that, look, if you want something, if you want to succeed in something, you have to go all in. There is no excuses. There's no going halfway. There's none of that. And having that example to grow up with really allowed me to pursue my dreams and gave me this building blocks I needed to go all in. Because as you know, hockey is one of the hardest things you can pursue, not only just physically, but the politics, the crap you're going to go through, the people who are going to put you down. You have to be motivated. You have to be able to keep yourself motivated. And you have to be able to deal with this. And if you're not able to mentally or physically, it's not going to go out. It's not going to go well in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. Hockey teaches you so many life lessons because it is a really tough sport. Like you said, the politics, the stuff you have to go through, and just the level that you have to be at, both physically and mentally, to keep piercing through each level. It's very, very difficult. So you need to have that work ethic. You need to have that inner drive. And it's funny you mentioned your dad, because any person that I've asked this question to, where do you think that inner motivation and compete comes from? Almost everyone says it's from their childhood, either from having brothers or siblings or whatever that they competed with when they were growing up, but usually coming from the parents instilling that example in them. So myself too, my mom, my dad, they're workhorses as well. That's where I kind of got it from. Touching on this, I want to ask you before I give my 2 cents on this, but do you think people who don't have that upbringing can foster that inner motivation and compete at some point in their lives?
I think they can. I don't think it's like handed down from generation to generation, because I know some friends who have the hardest working parents, and these guys struggle to get off the couch.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And then I've also coached some kids, and I have one right now that doesn't come from a very nice home. I'll put it that way. Unfortunately, doesn't know who his father is. And he's one of the hardest working kids I've ever seen in my life. I tell him to do something and he doesn't ask me any questions. He does it until either he can't anymore, or I tell him, okay, it's enough, let's move on.
Yeah.
So I really think it's either you get it from your parents, you get it from a coach that kind of believes in you, or even your friend group. If you surround yourself with a good group of guys that are all motivated and are always goal oriented, they always want to better themselves, it'll rub off on you. So I don't think it just comes from your parents. I think we're just some of the fortunate ones who had that home environment that kids should have.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely easier if it comes from your parents, but I think as well, like I got some of it from my parents, but my first coach in junior hockey, Tom McCarthy, he really ran a tight ship, and he showed us what it is to really work extremely hard, set a high standard, and all that stuff. So being on that team, it was a very winning team because of the leadership. It really brought my work ethic and opened my eyes to what's possible to that next level, you know? So I think if you have a really good coach, really good parents, or like you said, if you surround yourself with a good friend group, you're really intentional about it. If you have that mindset shift, I think you can get it from there as well.
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's so many different ways you can get it. But I do think it's a lot harder to try and learn that yourself. You know, you have to be exposed to it, no matter by who, you need to be exposed to it. And then the earlier it is, the better, of course.
Yeah.
Like you spoke about junior, but the guy can get exposed to it in Pee-wee, Bantam, that's amazing. They're still at the age where they can still fall in love with the game and the work ethic and everything that comes with it.
Yeah, that's where if you're blessed, if you have a really good coach that has that mindset, that leadership ability at a young age, that's where it can make a total difference. When do you think you had like an extremely good coach that had that kind of mindset when you were younger?
My first coach I had in midget, the first one that ever believed in me. I'll never forget, I showed up to training camp and I had just gotten cut from AAA. We've said the story in the last video. Yep. And the next day I showed up to the minor midget tryouts and I got on the ice and literally put myself to my extreme. Like I was just pushing. And I wasn't having a great practice because I was still so upset. And I was just so determined to be better than everybody else that I forgot to just play my game. And I remember the coach doing a drill where nowadays I know it as the puker drill because it's exactly that. And all the guys are struggling. I think one kid was able to complete it. And then I got in the net and I killed it. But as soon as I killed it, I went to the side and puked all over the corner. Like I was finished. And the coach comes up to me with a big smile and says, "Where'd you play last year?" And I said, double B, which was like the lower level. And he goes, "That's going to change this year." But the rest of the year, he was on me, but not like being hard, like, "Hey, you suck, this and that." But just positively like, "All right, you did this. What can you do better? What about if we try this?" And he was just always with me all the way and kind of always put it in my head that this is what you need for the next level. Let's do that. And made me believe in myself and in the fact that I could continue to play. Stéphane Blanchette, who actually, ironically, I coach his son now and I work with him every day. So it's weird how the circle continues.
For sure. Yeah, the circle of always, not like you said, not coaching to put you down, but coaching to say, hey, like you did this well, good stuff. How can you elevate your game to the next level? You know, that growth mindset, that non-complacency mindset of always pushing to get better and better and better. If you can get a coach like that when you're young, you're super, super lucky because it really does. It can really impact you. It can really make a difference.
Yeah, I met him when I was 15 and I'm 25 now. He's still in my life. I still talk to him 3 or 4 times a week. Like, those are people you want to keep in your life no matter what, because at a certain point, hockey ends. Unfortunately, it happens to everybody, but you need those people to continue to advance in your everyday life because there is a life after hockey.
For sure. 100%. So shifting gears a little bit, I'm curious, what do you think the biggest mistake is that you made in your hockey career?
I'm not saying this because we're advisors. I'm saying this because I wish I would have had one. I did not have an advisor at 15 years old to teach me all the different paths that I could have taken to play hockey for as long as I wanted. And that's the biggest mistake I made. I don't regret it getting drafted in the queue. It was a dream come true. I was drafted by my hometown city where I had family. So it was incredible experience, but I wish I would have known more about the other options, about going to play AAA in the US, about playing prep hockey, about playing college hockey, about playing the prep programs in Canada, travel hockey, summer hockey. I didn't know about any of this. I don't have hockey parents. I don't have a hockey family. Like I had cousins that were in a hockey city, but they didn't know too much about it. Like that's information that I needed as a kid. Because as a 15-year-old, once you're told something or once you see something, that's the only way there is. We're not smart enough to do our own research. So I wish I had an advisor or even some sort of support system who could have given me this knowledge, because there's so many different ways. It's incredible.
Yeah, for sure. And me too, honestly. Like we had one, wasn't great. And it was until we got our third advisor actually that it actually made a difference in my career. But at that point, it was so late in the game that it didn't really matter too much. But whether it's an advisor, a coach that you know isn't biased, that's out for your best interest. If you can find somebody that's out there for your best interest, that has the knowledge, that has connections, that's who you need to be drawn to. Don't there's a lot of sketchy people in the hockey world that you don't want to go to. Really make sure that someone that has your best interest in mind, and that's going to help, give you the information that you need. It really, really makes a huge, huge impact in your career if you make the right decisions earlier on.
Absolutely, because like if I just look at my career, for example, I went to camp because I didn't know anything about college hockey. Now, was I ready at 16 years old to play junior majors? I thought so. Looking back on it, I was not ready. I might have been ready to be a hockey player in that league, yes, but to leave home, to live on my own, to take care of myself at 16, I wasn't ready. So I might have stayed home another year, and who knows, I could have played AAA somewhere else and then been seen by colleges. At 19, when I had my 6 college offers, I could have went to a bigger school and played better hockey. Like there's so many different things that could happen, right?
Looking at your hockey career and how you prepared before the game and stuff, and this is I don't even know what the answer is going to be. I'm excited to hear it. What I do know what question I'm about to ask is on your pre
Yeah.
rule, because obviously goalies are the weird ones and they have these crazy pregame rituals sometimes. I actually asked JS Jaguar a while ago, and his is pretty chill. So I'm excited to see how yours compares to his.
You have all day. So let's see. Pre-game rituals kind of started the night before. It was like my little snack, my little cheat. You know, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna relax. Tomorrow's a good day. So I had a little bowl of ice cream. Go to bed. Wake up. I always used to wake up early. Let's say like 7:30 ish. Breakfast was always 2 eggs, a piece of toast, 2 pieces of bacon, and a massive bottle of water. Then lunch, it depended what time the game. If the game was at 7, lunch was usually around 2. And I would have a massive, massive bowl of pasta, nice big chicken breast, and some broccoli. And then I wouldn't eat until the game, till after the game. So, because that was my meal beforehand. Come to the game, I always wore my Lucky socks. I'm a huge Marvel nerd, so I had either Captain America socks, Black Panther, anything Marvel. I had a flashy suit. I always, for some reason, had flashy suits, green, blue, nice gray, like shiny, like
Yeah.
I had for some reason my suit stood out. Kind of how I attracted my wife, but that's a different story. Get to the rink 2.5 hours before. I liked sitting at the rink, kind of the calm before the storm in the room, nobody that round. I could look at kind of the locker room and kind of just breathe in, feel happy, kind of thing. Tape my stick, get on my my Under Armours for workout. In midget and juniors, I would go do about a 30-minute hand-eye coordination warm-up. So juggling while running, skip rope, things like that, like all kinds of different exercises. And I had one golden rule. I cannot drop the ball 3 times. If I did, I had to go put my suit back on, walk out of the rink, walk back in, get changed and restart. Little psychopath, I know. And then from after my juggling until pregame warm-up, I had headphones on. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't touch my gear. None of that stuff. I was very superstitious about that stuff, and I'm a little bit nuts, I know. But we're goalies. It's normal. 10 minutes before pregame warm-up, I'd go in the hallway, kind of right by the door. I was fully dressed. I'd go stand there alone until it was time to get on for warm-up. Warm-ups, I had to do, you know, the 3-lane shooting drill?
Yep.
I had to do 2 rows standing up, 2 rows on my knees, and that was the only drill where I could not let in a shot. If I did, my game was over. It was over. It was over. That only happened once, thank God, because my coach wanted to kill me. I was usually nervous until I got that first shot in a game. And nets, and you could see I was nervous. You could tell my hands were a little shaky. My stick was a little wobbly. And then I would make that first save, and I was like, all right, I'm in this. We're good. But I actually had a curse where either the first shot went in or the last shot went in. Nerve-wracking in midget and juniors. And then come my 19-year-old season and then my 3 years of college, all that went out the door. For some reason, I lost all those superstitions. I would just have fun. I'd get to the rink 2.5 hours before. I like that. Tape my stick, do my juggling. It wouldn't affect anything if I dropped the ball 15 times. I didn't care. I would talk to the guys all the time, so I only had one headphone in. Play some sewer. I was really good at it too, which was nice because I got a lot of wins.
I love.
Oh, it was the best game.
Yes.
The only thing that sucked was when you used the sewer guy in the face by accident. It was like, oh, that's not a good way to go.
Yeah, I did.
But all that went out the door.
Yeah, because I was pretty ruthless in sewer, so I got a couple guys in the face, and they weren't too happy. But it was good time.
Unfortunately, I did too. But that's when I kind of realized to calm down. And then once I got to Belgium at the end of my career, I had no superstitions. It was show up. I had no tape on my stick. Doesn't matter. Skip my warm up because we got there late. Doesn't matter. I kind of, like I said, I realized to relax and just play the game.
Man,
and that's when I played my best hockey.
That's crazy because I went through the same thing. And wasn't nearly as nuts as your pregame ritual, but I definitely had an hour ritual, like from showing up to the rink, and I had like everything that I had to do. JS said the same thing early in his career. He's an all-time NHL, great goaltender. And he did the same thing. He's super superstitious at first, and then he kind of just dropped most of it and just showed up loose and having fun. I notice now, like I just, I play semi-pro hockey, once a week type thing, nothing too serious, and I just show up, have fun, do a quick warm up, just to not pull a groin and and be out for the year, but do a quick warm up, keep it loose, and I feel great out there, So part of me wonders, if all those superstitions are actually serving us or not.
Oh, they're not worth it at all. They're just
No.
mentally damaging us, especially as goalies. Like I see some kids now that they get to the rink and goes in the exact same position. They got to touch it in the same spots, and it's like, buddy, calm down. This is a hockey game. This is a hockey game. I almost kind of want to walk in as a coach and just kick a stick and just like, you're not touching it. Like just to make them understand that you're going to stop a puck anyways.
Yeah, I remember there was a goalie I played with. Literally, he was like, he had a rule where he could not talk or speak to anyone before the game. So the coach asked him a question, like when he didn't really know him, and the goalie just like didn't respond. Like he pretended like nobody else existed. It was actually the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but it was quite entertaining. Like the coach would ask him a question, like, "You ready to go?" or whatever, and the goalie just ignored the coach completely because it was part of the superstition.
We're special, okay? We're special people.
Yeah, for sure. So being special, what would you say the biggest win was for you in your career, and how did it feel?
I've had a few crazy ones, even in minor hockey, like Bantam championships and stuff. But I think my craziest game I've ever played and been a part of was the semifinals at the World Junior A Challenge. So in that tournament, we weren't supposed to do well. We were ranked to finish 5th. We get to the semis, we're playing Czech Republic. And I know a guy on the Czech Republic team because he's playing major juniors in Quebec. We score with, I think, 2 minutes left in the third period, and they've been dominating us all game. The shots are like 40-15, and they're killing us. We're keeping it in. I'm making saves left and right. Like I'm so into it. With 30 seconds left, I get scored on. That's where I told you I had that stupid curse with last shot used to go in. Like, yeah, crappy goal. I let it in. And I remember after that goal, I got up, but I skate to the corner and skate back to the net. I remember staring at my crossbar and going, okay, no more. And I don't know why I spoke to my crossbar. Okay. I've never done that before too. For goalies, it's okay. We go into overtime. My buddy that's playing on Czech Republic, super, super fast guy, comes down the wing. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I'll never forget it. He's coming down the wing, cuts in, takes a slap shot. I didn't even hesitate, made the save. I look up and I see one of our guys, Tsirus, who's a super fast guy, is on the wing, wide open, and my defenseman's coming to the net. Out of nowhere, decide to drop the puck. He gives it to Tsirus, goes all the way down the wing and scores. We win in 2-1. I remember that moment, but also I remember that when I dropped the puck, I kind of blacked out. Like I blinked and the puck was in the net. Skated full speed to the corner, like best moment of my entire life.
Yeah.
And it's like that video is online. It's on YouTube. That the one clip of me making that save, giving it on, and going down is the best hockey moment I've ever had. When you have 20 guys full speed skate into the other team's zone and jumping each other in the corners, like I think we celebrated for 10 minutes in that corner because none of us expected it to make to the semis. None of us expected to go to the finals. And it was just the best hockey moment I've ever had, and also the best feeling I've ever had, like being part of a family, being part of a group that cared about being together, not just individual styles or anything. We were there as a family for a purpose, and to this day, we still talk to each other. I just got off the phone a couple of days ago with Charlie Levesque, who played Magnus last year, and we were talking about the tournament. Like, it's been 6 years already, and we still talk about it. Yeah. I was at a work retreat last week with my goalie coach, Stefan, who was there as well. We talked about that hug after that game. We're both in tears, like, can't believe we made it this far.
Yeah, those moments are incredible. You almost can't put in words how amazing it feels when you have like such a big win, especially the wins that you don't expect, and you make like a big save, like, and you give it to your buddy, toss it up the wing, and he just goes down and scores. Those are incredible moments, and it's why we play the game. It's for moments like that, to be honest.
Absolutely. I still remember finishing the game and he looked at me and said, "You gave the puck. Why'd you give the puck?" Because I never give the puck. Never before that. It would hit me and I was like, I'm not dropping this. But in that moment, I let it go, made the pass, and he bombed it down the wing.
Yeah. Do you ever notice those moments too? All like you said, you blinked and it was, I feel like for me, it like all goes down to like slow motion, but it also seems like it happens fast at the same time. Like if I get a breakaway or something, I feel like it all slows down. But if you look at the clip, like it happens in an instant on video or something. I don't know. It's a weird feeling, but I get that.
Absolutely. But for me, it's when something's happening to me, it slows down. But when I don't have control, I blink and it's over and it's like, what just happened?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that for me too, it's like that. That makes sense. It's interesting how that works. So transitioning away from the big wins in hockey, we also get the big losses. What would you say was your biggest loss in hockey that really stings to this day?
The very next day versus USA.
Oh God, it's tough.
We lost 4-0 in the finals. The one and only time my game was on TSN, like coolest thing I've ever gone through.
Yeah.
But we kind of expected it. Team USA was ranked first going into the tournament. They outshot everybody in the tournament by 40 shots a game. We lost 4-0. We got outshot 70 to, I think, 11.
Yeah.
They absolutely killed us. And the only reason I'm like I say it's the worst game because at 4-0, I felt like I left my team down. I let them down. I let in 2 goals that I knew should not have gone in. And one of them was end of the first period at 0-0. We're getting outshot 19-2 at this point. I'm killing it. I'm in the game doing really well. And we're supporting each other. Like, yes, we're getting dominated, but the Ds are doing their job. They're boxing out, making my job easy. The forwards are doing as much as they can. Like, we're playing good hockey. And I let in a crappy goal. And from there, everything just went downhill. You know what I mean? Like, I let my team down at the end of the first period. As much as we continued to play our best the rest of the game, they were better than us. You could tell that the team morale was down because we knew we weren't going to score 2-3 goals versus these guys. They had 6 guys that were drafted. They had Primo and Nets, who was the superstar. So it was just kind of downhill from there. And that's why it was the toughest loss. I had the best group of guys around me. I had the best family I've ever had, and I let them down.
Yeah, and those sting, right? Because like you said, you let in a couple that you wish you would have had back, and no matter how good you play afterwards, you know, like deep down, your team's probably not going to score those goals. You know, if it was a really tight game, you could have maybe squeaked away with it. But yeah, those are tough. So how do you handle that mentally? Like what'd you do after the game and moving forward? Like how'd you feel is a bad question, but how'd you move forward with that?
Well, like for the rest of the game, I was lucky. My goalie coach was there, and right away he knew. He came and talked to me between periods, like, "Hey, we got 2 periods left. Let's keep it at 1. We can still come back into this. At 1, we still have a hockey game." And we did. They scored the next 3. They scored 1 at the end of the second. It was a 3-0. I made the first save. They got the rebound. And then they scored the next 2 in the third. So, like, it was a tight hockey game until the third period, I would say. But at the end of the game, I think I stayed on that ice for 10 minutes, bawling my eyes out. Because I knew, like, look, you get one chance to play for Team Canada, especially when you've never played any All-Star tournaments, any Team Quebecs or anything before that. I'm not going to do this again. I'm 19 years old. Like, this is the biggest moment I'll ever have in hockey. And I was bawling not only because like we lost. Obviously, I'm a sore loser. I wanted to win the gold medal, and Team Canada East had never won the gold, so it would have been unbelievable. But I also knew it was going to be my last day with this group of guys. It just that experience was over. Like that. That's why it hit me. Stayed in the locker room. I think the first guy got undressed after 40 minutes. We all stayed together, bawling our eyes out. Like nobody wanted to get undressed. Nobody wanted to leave. We had a nice day, and then once we all left, we went back to the hotel and just all sat together in the lounge, relaxing, talking. And you could tell nobody was excited to go back to their teams.
Yeah.
Like we all kind of wanted to stay as a group and kind of like make our own junior A team and take over the league type of thing. So that was kind of hard. And then I think it really hit me when I flew home. I got back, we played the Sunday, so I got back on the Monday night from Alberta. It hit me like all the stress from the tournament, all the anxiety, all the pressure I put on myself, all the games and practices I did because I was on the ice in the morning for an hour and then the game at night for 2 hours. Everything hit me. And I was just so exhausted after that tournament, mentally drained. It took me a good week to kind of get back on my feet.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a big sleeper. I get 3-4 hours a night. I have insomnia, and I slept for 15 hours in a row. Like
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So it hit me like in the moment, and then once I got home only.
For sure. To have that high of like winning the semis and that low afterwards, and then like you said, like teams like that, where it's Team Canada or whatever, where you just put them together for a short period of time. It's almost like you talk and stuff after, but like you're so quickly you're brought to your regular team after, and that can be a bit of a shock. And I remember going through that as well. You know, especially the last game I played at Trine, we won in the quarterfinals. We're going to the semis, and we lost, unfortunately. And it was the same thing. We were just all bawling our eyes out. I rarely ever cry, honestly. And there I was just like bawling, like the upper lip was quivering. It was that bad. Yeah, it's a tough feeling to go through, and it's uncomfortable. But you know, you go through those moments to be able to get the moments where you actually win and you feel amazing. I feel like you can't have one without the other, you know?
No, absolutely. And I wouldn't trade those memories for anything because, like, even if it's so difficult because, like, you're so close to everything you ever wanted, it just builds you up as a person. It gives you memories. I call them brothers. Like, we still talk to each other all the time. When I was in Belgium, Charlie was in France. We ended up meeting up together, going to have some coffees together because we're a few hours apart. Like, they're still brothers, they're still family. So it still gives you those memories that are worth it.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it's all about. So last question for you, Stefano. It's a question I asked last time too. It's always the last question I ask is, what's one final message you'd like to give to our viewers out there?
As cringy as this is going to sound, you guys only get one chance. You only get one chance at everything you do. If a coach is interested in you, a scout's interested, he's going to come watch one game. You blow it, they're gone. You want to make it somewhere in hockey, you want to play as long as possible, you get one chance at this. So either you're all in or you're all out. But I don't want you to come back in 10 years and start saying, oh, I could have done this, I could have been that, I was good enough for this. You didn't put in the work. So if you're going to do this, go 100% in. The parties, they're not worth it. The times you're going to miss with the friends, guess what? If they're real friends, they'll support you along the way and they'll kind of be interested in your journey. Hockey is a beautiful, beautiful game. And if you're playing for fun, that's great. Keep playing for fun. Beer league is a good time. But if you're playing because you want to make it to college, you want to play pro, any of that stuff, go all in because it's 100% worth it. The people you're going to meet, the skills you're going to learn, the memories you're going to have, make all the things you missed 1,000% worth it. Some of my best friends that I call brothers, who were the best men at my wedding, come from college. My incredible wife comes from college. The fact that I'm now working in hockey, helping players, coaching, all of that stuff comes because I decided to put in all that extra work. And it gave me everything I have today, and I wouldn't trade it in for anything or any experience that I missed as a kid.
Mic drop. That's it. Great. Honestly, probably the best final message I've heard on these interviews. So with that being said, Stefan, I'm just going to end it right there. There's nothing I can say to top that. So yeah, thanks for your time, man. Appreciate it. Again, always a good time chatting with you. And this was a great interview. So maybe round 3 in the future for the viewers.
Hey, I'm in anytime. I appreciate always being here.
All right, take care, Stefano.
All right, guys, that is it for our interview here with Stefano. Man, what an ending to the interview. I think what he said is such a strong message that you guys hopefully take home and apply to your own lives. I know I definitely am going to take that and apply it to my life that much more. If you guys enjoyed this video here, absolutely destroy that like button if you haven't already. If you did, as promised earlier in the video, you will see a picture of a baby panda right now. Aww. Super cute, right? Guys, if you're new here as well, if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video moving forward. Also, too, if you have any questions for us, anything whatsoever, feel free to comment down below. Let us know if you enjoyed this interview. Also, if you have any questions that you want to send to us privately, feel free to email info@ahadvising.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on that next one.